Hey guys, Laura here with Lifestyled You, and in today's video we are doing a fall inspired makeup look while testing out a couple new products for me. So I am going to be trying out the Flower Beauty sponge, which I have never tried before, as well as some crown brushes that were recently sent to me in a FabFitFun box, as well as this beautiful warm toned palette also from Crown that is really kind of inspiring today's look. So if you want to see how I got this look, then stay tuned. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm first going to apply a little bit of the Benefit Pore Fessional just into my nose area, sides of the nose, into the cheeks, just to fill in some of the larger pores that I have there. Next, I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. I always like to do this just to hydrate that under eye skin. Mine tends to be really dry, so this just helps makeup go on a little bit better. We'll just apply that and let it sit for a little bit. Okay. And next, one of my favorite ways to prime my face is with the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. I use the shade 903. And basically what I like to do is just kind of squirt out like a line down my middle finger and then just rub it in and just rub it all over the face. And all this does is just kind of give the skin a little bit of a bronzy glow to it, which I really just like underneath all my foundations, whether there's something more matte or something luminous. To me, I just like how this kind of starts to even out the skin tone, and it gives you a little bit of a bronzy glow, which is always nice. Alright, now next step for me is using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer, but this is in the Brightener shade. So basically what this is it's like a light pink tone that I like to apply on the eyelid and in the under eyes. Basically, I just make a pair of brightening glasses for myself. And I find this is one of the only things that really brightens up my under eyes and works well with my old craggly under eye bags. So I just like to let that sit for a couple seconds. And today I am trying out a new sponge. This is the Flower Beauty sponge. And I always see, I think it's Raw Beauty Christie is the one who really loves using this, and I haven't ever tried it before. Usually I'm just a big fan of the Beauty Blender, but this guy is a much more affordable option, so we're gonna give it a try today. So far it feels like super duper squishy, like very, very, very soft, so we'll see how this goes. It does have like a flat side to it, so we're gonna use that and the point to kind of get in under these eyes. I'm just gonna blend this out a little bit. I like how this primes the eyelid for my eyeshadow, while also knocking out some of the under eye darkness. It feels really great on the eyes, the sponge does. It is super soft and squishy, so it feels really nice. I've tried, I think it was the AOA sponge that is kind of a knockoff of the Beauty Blender, and it is like so hard and dense that I couldn't get on board with that one. Alright. So you can see that instantly just kind of lightened up under the eyes, and that's just kind of my preferred method to attack the under eye area. For foundation today, I'm going to go in with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Luminous Foundation, and I like to do one pump of the Ivory L2, which looks like that, and then also one pump of the Nude L3, which looks like that. So one is just a little bit more pink, one's a little bit more yellow. I first saw Ally Glines mix these two together, and I think we have fairly similar skin tones, so that's why I went with this little concoction. I'm just gonna take this and I just like to wipe a little bit onto the cheeks, forehead, nose, whatever's left on my hand, I just kind of wipe off on my chin and then wipe off what's on my hand with the sponge and go on in. I love how this foundation feels super light, but it really does have good coverage. And it's also super, super luminous. Like, you can see there's definitely a sheen going on the skin, and that is a little bit from how we primed with the Glotion, but also has a lot to do with this foundation. So I do like how this sponge is applying the foundation. It seems really comparable to the Beauty Blender. It is just a very like squishy texture, so you don't get a lot of like bounce back from it or like resistance behind it. So it's a little bit different than the Beauty Blender, but I think I could get used to this. Okay, and to pair with the Flower Beauty foundation, of course, we're going to use the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. And I'm just going to apply some of this to my chin area where I have some blemishes right now, around the sides of the nose where I tend to have a little bit of redness, and up on the forehead where I have some sun damage spots, also along this cheek, and just a tiny bit in the hollows of the eyes where that darkness is. Going back in with the Flower Beauty sponge and just blending that concealer out. The concealer works really well with the foundation. I mean, obviously it's designed to, but it also has a really nice kind of luminous quality, which I like. It kind of matches with the foundation, and I don't mind a little extra luminosity under the eyes, so for me, that works out fine. All right, now in my latest FabFit Fun Box, I received a set of brushes from Crown, and I'm going to use this one today to kind of set my face with some powder. We're going in with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder, and this is in the shade Porcelain L1. And I'm just gonna kind of tap my brush in there and just add some to the sides of the nose, to the center of the forehead, also to the eyes, the eyelids, just a little under the eyes, just to kind of set down some of the shine of that foundation. Next, I'm going to use this contour palette from Smashbox. It has a contour shade, a bronzer, and then a highlight. So I'm going to go in with the contour shade first. I'm going to try it with this brush from Crown. Just has a little bit of a taper to it, so we'll use that for our contour. So I'm just tapping in to this contour shade first. I like this shade as a contour shade because it is a little bit more on that cool toned side, so it appears more as a shadow than like a orangey bronzer. I'm going to go ahead and also use some of that under the chin and along the jawline, bringing it down the neck slightly. And I'm also going to go in with the contour shade around the perimeter of my hairline. I'm going to take just the tip of this brush and get it into that contour shade a little. I'm just going to go a little bit under the lip and also a little bit under the nose. So for bronzer, I'm going to use this brush from Sonia Kashuk. It's just a nice domed soft brush, and that's my favorite bronzer brush. So now just dipping into the middle shade there, just kind of going over the contour, but also up into the temples. This shade is just slightly warmer, so it's just going to warm up our complexion a little bit more than the contour shade did. All right, and today I'm gonna use that same brush I used for my bronzer for my blush. This is a Maybelline Fit Me blush in the shade 35 Coral. Just applying that to the apples of the cheeks and then sweeping it back. I feel like a crazy person without blush. Like, I just feel like it's so important for me and my skin tone to just have that warmth on the cheeks. Now I like to take whatever's left over and just brush it onto the chin and the forehead. And today for highlight, I'm going to be using the B36 tapered highlight brush from Ipsy. This one just is the perfect size for my face. I'm going to be using the Got Me Beaming palette from ColourPop. They have some great shades in here. Today I'm going to be using the Please Do shade, which is the lightest shade in the palette. And just going into the tops of the cheeks, up towards the eyebrow. Woo! Yes. Onto the other side. This is just a nice kind of champagne color, really neutral. We're gonna go onto the tip of the nose, down the bridge of the nose, onto the Cupid's bow, and a little bit onto the chin. All right, up next for me is eyebrows, and I'm gonna be using the Goof Proof Brow Pencil from Benefit in the shade 3. I'm just gonna start by combing the eyebrow hairs up, and then going in, starting with the underlining of the eyebrow, adding in some color to the front of the brow, drawing in a tail, then going on to the top side of the brow and connecting down. Then I like to brush through it with a spoolie again just to kind of disperse the color. Yes, so much better. Everybody needs brows, everybody. All right, and then I'm gonna set my brows with a little bit of Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Blonde. I am running out of this. I need to place an order for more. But I really like to run this kind of through the front part of my brow just to kind of get those like fluffier, bushier brows, especially in the front. All right, now in a fairly recent BoxyCharm, I received this palette from Crown, and I haven't really done anything except swatch a couple colors here and there. So I thought today this looked a little bit like fall vibes, which, you know, I just want it to be fall. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a try today. I'm also going to continue testing out some of these brushes from Crown. So we're gonna start with this guy, which is just a rounded blender. Now he's a little bit more fluffy than some of the typical blending brushes I like to use. I don't have gigantic eyelids, so we'll see how this goes. All right, I'm gonna dip into the second shade, which is just kind of like a warm brown, and take that into the crease. So far, this has pretty nice pigment. It's not like too intensely crazy where the second you put your brush down, you instantly regret it. It's kind of a nice buildable tone. Going into the other eye, doing the same. I do like this brush. It's really nice and soft and actually does fit into the contours of my eye pretty nicely. So I think this is one I would like to continue using. Nice. While I have this out, I'm gonna switch up brushes and go to this guy, which is a much more like narrow but flat brush. And I'm gonna stick with that same second shade, the light brown. And I'm just gonna add that to my under eyes. And I do like to bring that out quite a bit to kind of meet up with where I've applied it on the top lid. Going back in with the fluffy blending brush, I'm going to go into this fourth shade here, which is a more rust terracotta color. And I'm just going to concentrate this on like the outer corner of my eye and bringing that across into the crease about halfway. That's a really pretty color. I like where this is headed. And I do like this brush, even though it's a little bit bigger than what I am used to. All right, there are 4 shimmer shades in this palette. And I think I'm gonna go in with this third color right in the center with my pinky. It's kind of like a orange, yellow, gold duochrome. And we're just going to pat that right onto the lid. Pretty. All right. There's a shade in here that's kind of a purpley plum brown, and I'm gonna use this flat definer brush to kind of create like a faux liner along the lash line. So we're just gonna kind of stamp this color close to our eyelashes. It's not super intense. Can you see it? I can barely see it. That's not exactly what I was hoping for with this. There, I guess you can see a little bit. Okay, that shade was not as pigmented as I would have liked. Maybe going in with a wet brush would have been better. Let's actually try that. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit onto my brush and then spritz it with a little bit of Milani's Make It Last setting spray. Yeah, a little bit better. Time for some mascara. I am going to go in with the Tarte Tardiest Lash Paint. And I really like these wands. This is one of those spiky, plasticky wands. A lot of people don't like these because they say that stabs them in the eyeball. I don't usually have that problem. And I really just love this mascara. It's really both volumizing and lengthening. And I think it wears really well. So now you can see one eye with and one eye without. Okay, both eyes done on the top. I'm just gonna apply some to the lower lash line. All right, I'm gonna clean up the foundation on my lips. All right, and for the lips today, we're just gonna go kind of light and easy. We're going to use the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Tiramisu. It's just a nice, glossy, kind of pink color. Wears really easily and is pretty. And it smells delicious. And to make sure our look stays all day, we're going to use the Milani Make It Last setting spray. And I like to spray it on and then go back with my sponge and just kind of like dab out any of the spots that We're a little bit wet. Alright you guys, that's it for today's look. I hope you enjoyed this fall inspired makeup tutorial. I know it's coming. It will happen. It will happen. I think it's 90 degrees today, but wherever you are, maybe you live somewhere a little bit colder than I do and you can enjoy the transition into fall. Of the crown brushes I tried today, I really enjoyed the powder brush, this guy, and I also really enjoyed the blending brush, actually a lot more than I thought I would. I will definitely put those into daily use. And the eyeshadow palette, I did enjoy. It's not colors that I normally gravitate towards. This is like a little bit more orangey than I typically like for my skin tone, but I do like how this looks and it does put me in a good fall vibes kind of mood, so I'll take it. I also really enjoyed testing out the Flower Beauty sponge for the first time. It is definitely one of the more squishier sponges that I've ever tried, but I think I could definitely get used to it and it does feel really nice on the face, so I'll definitely continue using that. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this makeup tutorial. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and also don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. And I'll see you in my next video.